So, hey guys, welcome on the first episode that we're shooting with Daria today for the Horses and Coffee podcast. It's been a long time since we've been here with Bridal, and this season we're taking things a whole lot more seriously. There's so much happening. The team is growing, the company is scaling. We have so many trials already booked, so many things happening with sales, and we thought that today would be a great opportunity to kind of dive deeper into our role, what we do, what we're up to, our personalities, what we do. And so welcome on this new episode, on the first episode of 2026. I'm here with Daria.
Hi everyone!
Who is officially the baddie of Bridal. She is likely one of the best duos that I've had in sales in a long time. She's 22 years old. 22?
22.
Super ambitious, and we've been very able to develop a friendship inside the business and also outside the business, which has allowed us to absolutely kick ass and show the market what it means to be very successful when it comes to horse sales and super ambitious. We are ready to take things forward for the next 20-30 years, take Bridal to the top and show you guys how it's done. So Daria, thank you so much for being here with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for making it possible.
I love how we're making this so professional when in fact we're just chilling at the house we rented this week in Bridl. Today's podcast episode we're going to be talking about the inside of actually what happened in business, maybe a little bit about our stories mutually.
Yeah.
But the first question that I have is, how does it feel to be in Sunshine Tour, and what's your idea overall with what you've been able to achieve so far with Bridal?
So first of all, it's amazing to be in Spain, in Vejer, enjoying the sun, kind of catching up with the whole team together, meeting the villa in person. First of all, that was really exciting. And we were super productive in the beginning of the week when we worked all together. It was like you could feel the power of Bridal team, especially when we kind of combine the strength of each of us together. I remember sitting together in the room and kind of pinching the ideas, how you could better follow up, how you could bring the cold client to a warm client. Like in general, it was really exciting and really helped a lot us to progress in a matter of 1 week. And I think you could see the results. Today is Friday. We worked just like 5 days together in one room, and we already have maybe 8 trials scheduled.
More. There's 13 clients.
That's what I thought. And we were like 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days together.
Yeah.
And we have already like over 10 trials scheduled in the upcoming weeks. And we are not talking like about maybe, it's like literally scheduled and fixed. So this is something what you could see how our working together could impact the company in a positive way. So this is really exciting, and that's why I love being here. You know, I want to do it again and again, and I don't think we will wait too long to meet up all together again, because it brings the results. For sure.
I think a lot of things that have to, like, there's a lot of things that we can bring up here in this podcast. First off, it'll be the 5 years of Bridal launching the 1st of February. Maybe we could have a Bridal birthday kind of organized tomorrow to share with you guys some exciting content on the 1st of February. But there's literally so much happening. We have an exciting partnership that's about to unfold, which we can't tell you guys about just yet, but you'll find out about it very soon. As Daria mentioned, loads of trials. Like last year, we've sold so many horses together. And this year, the company's objective is to kind of 2x what we've been able to do in 2025, and if we can 2x each year, 2-3x each year, we consider that a very good metric to go about the growth of the company. We also have very exciting opportunities and initiatives when it comes to people interested to kind of, you know, back us and support us even more. So many sellers that are more and more interested to invest their time into having the horses listed, having Bridal bring together kind of the strategy and the marketing for their horses. We're changing our business model also, which is going to be something we can kind of dive deeper into the podcast. But the first thing I want to talk about a little bit is, you know, the people behind the team. So Daria, I would love you to share a little bit life before Bridal, what that looked like. So before we talk about all the details about Bridal, I just want to rewind a little bit, because if no one knows who's behind the company, there's really no point to what we're doing. So what were you doing before Bridal, and what did horses represent in your life before that? And at that stage, did you ever imagine you would be in sales?
So let's start from the very beginning. When I was 5, I visited one stable. I was a kid, and I was always passionate about horses. I knew from the very beginning I will be doing something with them. I would be either a vet, either a rider, whatever, something with those animals, because they're just fascinating, you know, no matter what you do with them, sales, riding, just being around them makes you feel good within your body. So I started early, then kind of got myself into sport because I was so passionate. I was always hardworking from the very beginning of my life. I always knew what discipline is, you know, like I was always able, even as an 8 years old, 10 years old kid or 14 years old, to kind of wake up early, go to the training, don't miss out. Like I was always disciplined in this some sort of way. Probably it comes from my granny. She was always teaching me how to keep yourself in some sort of discipline. So I'm really grateful for it. And then I went to some shows, my first European championships, kind of got into the sport. And then when I was 13, I moved to Germany. I got an offer from one of my friends to train in Germany. So kind of was the way of my life. I moved to Germany. Stayed for a couple of years. And then at the age of 18, I moved to Hamburg area. Stayed over there, kept working as a rider, and didn't know that I would be working on sales. I always wanted to do that because I wanted to make those matches between like great horses, great opportunities, and passionate riders, because I'm the rider myself, and when I see a horse which I would love to have, it would inspire me to have it actually in my stable. So I wanted to be the person who is like matching those both sides in between, with a transparency and honesty. And I was so into this sport that it kind of made me so passionate about it. So there was a time last year, no, actually in 2024 already, that the chance came around to open my own stable, to kind of rent it. So I started it. I went all in. I was for sure a bit scared. I wouldn't say I wasn't scared, because to start something on your own when you're 21 is scary. So
I was 21 when I started also.
Exactly. So it's kind of like you don't jump in the pool, you jump in the ocean, you know, and you don't know what kind of fishes are there. And you're just a little Nemo.
Lots of tuna.
Yeah, and you're just a little Nemo in there, you know, like trying to find your way. But actually it turned out to be good. The first half a year was really harsh for me, I have to say. Like, it wasn't easy. It was a challenge, and 2025 came with a lot of challenges. Somewhere around the springtime, I saw Bridal. I don't even remember how. Probably social media, TikTok, somehow like through social media. I was like, what would I lose if I try? I anyways already tried many things in my life, and I always won.
Let me jump in.
Yeah.
You had an onboarding with Joe where she said, yeah, I'm Daria, I work with auction.
I was not so
I
self-love.
can dedicate 2 hours a week to you. I'm like, okay, great. We're going to go far 2 hours a week. My lady, you don't know how long it takes to actually sell horses. And 1 month later, she was like, hey, can I join the team kind of more on a, secure basis, more financially secure basis? And I was like, this girl's crazy. But sure, let's do it. Let's see what happens. And we're here now. So what happened? Why did you go from 2 hours to let's drop absolutely everything in my life, drop Netflix so I can watch those videos at night?
I felt like I was with the right people on my way, you know? Like, okay, we started the onboarding, and that's true that I was able to give like just a few hours a week because I was full-time with the horses, with the stable, and I know that many riders will watch this video, and when you have like over 10, 14 horses in the stable, you don't have even 5 minutes a day for yourself. So I was just realistic about the free time that I had in a week, which I could invest in something what I didn't know what it is. Like, I knew you do sales, but how it works, and I didn't know the team in general, so it was kind of important for me to loop in first to understand how the system works. Yeah. So we started. I started with some listings. I started with some personal contacts of mine, first of all, with the listings, trying to get things going. It was quite exciting, and then I had an accident in the spring 2025. That was like one of the funniest moments of my life.
Funny? You almost died.
Yeah, I almost died. But that happens, like when you're a rider.
It happens especially when Daria is driving.
No, but in the end, the accident happened, yes, and we had a planned call with Marie to talk about the opportunity of actually working for Bridal, because Like we were going all in. It was like speeding up. I joined the team. I listed a matter of 1 month, almost 100 horses or something like this. It was
Let me just jump in here. We've got all this serious talk, whatever. I get this message that's almost like, I don't exactly remember how it went, but it's almost like, hey, I almost died. I'm in hospital. Can we take our call? And I was like, who does that?
Wait.
Let's just be normal human being and reschedule. And she's like, no. So we joined the call. She's lying down, half like...
In a hospital, in Germany, in a hospital, on a bed. Day before, I was like out. I was like, my brain was not braining, but I was still replying to the clients, waiting for the room to get free for myself in the hospital. And then one thing about me, I always take the calls and I never reschedule. Like, this is like...
That's not applicable for me.
Yeah, like I always take the calls. I never miss the call. So the accident was on Wednesday and the call was on Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. And in the hospital, you anyways wake up at 7, they bring you your breakfast. Okay, I was not able to eat because I didn't feel good about anything.
She was sat on that hospital, so I opened my laptop, little Zoom call with Daria, whatever. She had this big, massive thing for your neck. I don't know how it's called in English. And I'm like, this girl's mad. This girl's completely crazy. But at the same time, like I wasn't necessarily looking to hire at that time, so I was like, I don't care so much to have someone new on the team. I didn't know Daria. We hadn't done much business before. And she shows up on the call and I can see that it's literally not normal to do that, right? So for me, I was thinking, she's completely mad. Like, only someone that's genuinely insanely ambitious would do this. This is probably the type of stuff I could imagine myself doing. Maybe not after a car crash, that's a bit much, but in a different context.
But it was not a car crash. I fell down from the horse and the horse fell down on me like that. So basically, like, I was in the hospital and the only thing I did, why I texted Marie before the call, and I was like, Marie, I hope the atmosphere of the hospital will not disturb you, type of thing, because I cannot change the location.
For sure.
I'm stuck in here, like I will not reschedule, but you will have to accept the fact that I'm laying in the bed and not sitting on the table, like it's.
So she did the full call and I was like, yeah, she's mad. Let's do it. And obviously she's been one of the greatest investments we've made with our time and with obviously company capital. We're super, super grateful to have Daria on the team, and it's a crazy adventure that started from that point on. I think you joining Bridal has been pretty insane. What makes Bridal feel different from a normal sales experience? Because you've also sold horses in auctions, you've sold horses probably that you were riding that ended up being sold.
Yeah, for sure.
What stands out?
I love the full transparency type of thing, In the end, we got so many feedbacks from so many sellers, and those sellers are like 99% of them are my good friends, So they've been selling horses before, but it was never like, they almost never knew to where the horses actually sold, and to who. And remember we sold those 2 ponies to the States in August. Like, the seller texted me so many kind messages saying, guys, you're so amazing. I just want to sell ponies with you because I knew exactly where my ponies are going, to which stable, to which people. Like, everything is transparent, the commission part, the price of the horse, like the vet check, everything is so honest and transparent that there is no hidden stones, no stones under the water, where you feel yourself personally as the seller, as the dealer in between, like as a sales company, so safe, because you would rather spend 1 more week scouting those horses for your client than just pushing the sale in, Like, sometimes, of course, we find good matches really fast, like the story with Airstrike and Lean, for example. It was like a fast match, and it was kind of luck. I don't believe in luck, but it was meant to be like this. But for some clients, for example, another client of ours from Turkey, we are looking for the horse for 2 years already, right?
Well, yes, on and off. She's got horses in between, but it's like...
Yeah, but you know what I mean? And we keep on looking, but don't push the options. She already tried a few horses a few weeks ago, didn't match. Okay, we just keep on going, It's not like we just stay ourselves, and we are on the side of the seller and of the buyer as well. Because for every horse, I truly believe when there is a right price on a horse, there's always a client.
For sure.
What I love about Bridal and how the sales are working in this company is the structure of transparency and not over pushing, you know, like we just want the best for both sides. And this is what we do.
One thing I would say is that obviously there's only so much you can control with a horse, right? So we're not here saying, buy this horse, it's never going to stop with you, it's never going to have an issue, it's never going to have a colic, it's the perfect horse because it's never going to spook at a shadow. Like, that's bullshit. And we all know that an animal is an animal, and obviously selling horses is so many factors that you cannot control. And we're not saying, hey, see this horse, trust everything the seller is saying because we have a good vibe from them. That's not at all what we do. We're here scouting horses, proposing horses we have in our close network, proposing horses we see at the show, kind of continuously working as a team. And I think the effect from the network is huge. But it's more from the due diligence process from, hey, try this horse day one, take it to a different location to try it another day, do an anti-doping. If you don't feel right with your energy, with your feeling, with the vibe inside of you, if you feel like an answer from a seller is not correct or something, our point is that we'll never push you. So there's only two things you can guarantee when it comes to transparency with a horse. Two things. The only two things. The commission that you take from your customer and the actual price of the horse.
Yeah,
those two things with us are absolutely 150% guaranteed. Meaning, there's no bullshit. Like, it's that simple. It's like, come to us and it's as clear as can be. You can be put in touch straight with the owner. There's so many different things we can do. If you say, hey, I don't want to be put in touch with the owner, I want to do it this way or that way. I think that as a company, we're very adaptable to how the clients want to work.
Yeah, another thing I would love to add on this point is, yes, we charge the commission. Yes, it's based on the final price of the horse. But in my experience from the sales that we already did, we made so many cases where, including our commission, we fighted so much for the negotiation that the price was like 50% smaller. Like the horse we sold to Liechtenstein, the original price plus the negotiation that Bridal did in the end, with the commission, the price was way better than even the original price or the last price, but that was firstly asked. So
I think for a seller though, like there's that's the case applicable on some deals where we see that the person really needs to sell.
Yeah, of course.
I would also say the horse that we sold recently from Germany to France.
Yeah.
That was the most perfect deal we could ever think of because there was no price point negotiation, the vetting was perfect, everything was smooth. That's not necessarily something we can always replicate.
Yeah, absolutely. But this horse was worth every penny of it.
Every penny of it. Like, and it was honestly like pretty impressive how the deal unfolded. But one thing that I'd say also is, in my experience, okay, I've been doing this for the 5 years. The first 2 years at Bridal, I always say they don't count because I was just trying to figure out life. But obviously, we've grown, we've learned. People say, oh, 12% commission is a lot. Well, actually,
no.
When you ask someone for a horse, that they ask someone that asks another person, that you're paying 40 or 50% commission.
Yeah.
Or you're paying even 20%, or you're paying a dealer an amount that you have no idea. I was speaking with a Brazilian customer a few days ago. He bought a horse, and this is just a simple case, but he bought a horse for 130,000, right? And I'm like, okay, great, like that's awesome. And he paid 130,000 to the dealer. So it's probably the dealer pocketed 100.
The horse is probably
the horse is probably
80k.
80k. He pockets 50, and I'm like, well, for Bridal to make 50k, we're selling a horse for 500,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty crazy. I had another. I mean, I know that these stories regarding crazy deals are spoken about. Everyone has an experience, or whatever, but. Another one is, I was speaking with someone who told me that they sold a horse for 3 million euros, right? 2 million was commissions. And it's like for example, another case, I was in Mexico. I sold a horse from Mexico to Venezuela, a super nice horse, okay? Trial is already scheduled, client already knows the price, like everything is already organized. And I reached out to some other people and I'm like, hey, would love to hear if you have any other options locally. I like people to propose me their horses and avoid them sending me friends' horses specifically for the commission conversation.
Yeah, of course.
I received the horse I had already scheduled the trial on and that was already being sold for twice the price. It was 50,000 or 60,000. I received the same horse for 120. And I'm like, you dumb idiot. Like, it's already organized. Like, how do I go back to that person and say, hey, you're a complete liar about the amount of money for that horse. What are you trying to do? Pocket 60 grand?
Yeah. And you have no idea how often I face those things because
Every
I
day.
scout a lot. I have over 400 horses under my name at Bridal right now, and believe me or not, this is the best way to understand who you can trust in the industry or not, because like Germany is big but small at the same time, you know. Like when you receive horses from somebody, like I know every second person, if not personally, but I know them, I heard of them, I've seen them, I saw their horses, you know, like I kind of monitor the whole show results and system in Germany really good. Like I'm on it every day. So if I get a horse and I know the original price, and I know the owner, and I know the price, and I get the exact same price or maybe like 10% more or something like from the people, then I know they're sending me something what I could actually look into. Or when they add like, let's say, huge commission on top, then I just say, we have nothing to do together anymore.
For sure. I had a story of an American client that we're currently working on, and super funny. I had a Zoom call with the trainers. And before we have the Zoom call with the trainers are like telling him, like he loves the concept of bridal, like he's super into it, he's super excited about it. And the trainers are like, well, I'm not sure because it's a platform, how can we trust them? How do we know they actually give the legit price on the horse? Fair enough, you don't know us, you want to know, right? He bursts on Facebook that he's looking for horses.
Yeah.
He gets horses on Facebook. And funny enough, one of the horses, like he gets a horse straight from the owner. One of the horses we proposed to him is one horse he's already
got from the owner, right?
He asks us the price, and the trainers are like, okay, great, ask them the price to test them. It was the same price. Just okay before commission, because in the end, it's the price of the owner plus 12% if you buy with us.
Yeah, exactly. It goes on top.
But I think that was a pretty genius move. So it's pretty unbelievable to see how the market works. But I think that over time, we've been accepted more and more and more into the market. And now in 2026, I'm finally getting the echoes that people really respect our work.
Yeah.
And that took 5 years to get here. And it's like, 5 years is not that long time to change something in a market. So obviously we still have so much work, but where are we going to be in 10, 15 years?
Yeah, but also look, in 2025, in the beginning of the year, like spring, summer season, we still face some hard moments, you know, by men, especially in the equestrian industry, trying to prove us wrong in some points. Yeah, I do have, but I don't want to announce them.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
Some stories in Chamarine, and like there were many moments.
Ah, yes, I can talk about that.
No,
Who cares? Come on.
I don't think we need to mention that. But in general, I just want to say that the industry is hard, and especially look at Marie. She is like sweet tiny lady. She's
I'm not tiny. I'm tall.
she's a lady, you know. Like when you look at her, me personally, I know her also as a friend. So most of the times, it's either I want to scream at her or hug her. You know, it's like two sides. You know,
it's
there's
like
nothing.
It's like Marmite, or you love it.
Exactly, it's nothing in between. So she can be really strong in the industry and really ambitious. For what I really respect her, it's really inspiring. But in the end, I know the industry myself, and I'm also a woman. I know how hard it is to kind of get to the top 3, top 5, or whatever it is. No matter what you do in this industry, sales, writing, or whatever, or just being there, in the pool of like 95% men, being in the business and in the industry for generations, you know, generations. Their fathers did it, their grandfathers did it, and you are there like this cute lady trying to say, I am here and I'm better, you know, and I'm delivering the quality, not just saying it, you know.
Yeah.
So I know how hard it can be. And for that, I respect you a lot. And for sure, when you ask me where the company could go, if you're in a company, I'm sure it could go really far, right? Because you can kick some asses. But if somebody would take the company over, I'm not sure that would go so far, because the company is you.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like how far we got, it's the women power that we have within us. Of course, Joe is there. I love Joe. I appreciate him so much. He's an angel. But this is you who is like literally like kicking the asses and saying, I am the one.
Yes, but at the same time, like I really appreciate what you're saying, and for sure, like you have to be very strong.
Yeah.
For any woman or entrepreneur listening to this, like I started from absolutely nothing. So if I can, so can you.
Yeah.
But I would say my greatest quality, which is also sometimes not a quality, is how stubborn I am.
Yeah.
I'm not a priceless show jumper. I'm a donkey. And if I decide that it's like this, it's not like this, it's like this. And I think that obviously I'm flexible enough to adapt to the market and learn, but my stubbornness was, hey, I'm not giving up. This is going to the top. It's go big or go home.
Yeah.
I'm doing bridal to make it the biggest equestrian sales company in the world, or I'm not doing it. And I know we're far from being where I want to get to. And I know some people will listen to this, especially some big dealers or whatever that don't believe in us, and they'll be like, that's impossible. Well, watch us for the next 10-15 years and see how we get then. And then on the 16th of January 2045, we can talk about it. And I think from my perspective also, one thing I learned is that, yes, okay, I have a big personality, but without a team, I could not achieve what I want to do. Because, okay, Joe was the first one to really believe in me. Like, I'm grateful I have...
Not just in you and your idea also, you know?
But also he took it, he added his stuff, and we added a spin to it.
Yeah.
So he took bridal, which was a very, simple value proposition, a very simple, like, it was what it is, but in the sense that it was the child version of it, the embryo version of it. And he came and he has been working relentlessly for the last years, investing time in our product, in our technology, in our network, in our agents. Like, if it wasn't for Joe, we would have never posted that video that you saw. So I think, yes, in fact, he's doing something that has nothing to do with sales, but it's almost like he's creating the muscles of bridal, and he's creating the body that's allowing us to go and run, right? And I think bridal is a little bit like Frankenstein. We take pieces of different things and put it together, but in the end it works. And
he is for sure watering the plants from the inside of the company. The way the website looks right now, he showed me some of the pictures yesterday of the drafts, like exactly 1 year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. He was again here in Vejer in Spain, just drawing with the pen how he would love the website to look.
Yeah.
And it actually looks like this. And I said to him, we have for sure to make a vlog out of it, because how it looks on the paper, it's just like an idea, you know?
Sure.
Like it was like realistic, of course, but it was an idea, and now we have it in real life. And nobody on the market has such a professional and nice website which you could actually use so practically, you know?
Yeah, and there's so much to improve, and I think one thing that entrepreneurs can relate to is, whether it's in technology or in another space, you have so much more likelihood to achieve your goal if you write it down. And your idea in your book, in your notebook, is super valuable, but what's most valuable is action. Like the first, I would say 2 years, even 3 years, the first 3-4 years, like 2024 and 2025 were really starting to bring in results, but 2025 was a very serious one. In 2023 we had our first auction. I would say before that we were just a tiny little bubble, and now we're really starting to grow into something very, very impactful. We get millions of views on social media every single month. We sell quite a lot of horses, which for me, that's my biggest obsession. It's like my goal is to sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds per year. We'll get there. But it's also, where are we going? Like, when I speak about the vision of bridal, it's like, bridal is the sales aspect, but I want to have bridal transport. Like an Uber of the horse world. So when we sell a horse, you could transport it with bridal by connecting with different companies. But even if you don't buy a horse with bridal, you can still use bridal transport to transport your horse. Like all
basically,
the services.
we will make a service from A to Z, you know, like you come to bridal, you say what you're looking for, we do the discovery call, we do the whole thing, and you will be able to actually just sit on your couch and enjoy the process. You know, like we will be there from you from the beginning to the very end, no matter what it is. We will be helping with the vet checks, with the transport, with the whole thing. And back to the point about bridal growing so fast in the last couple of years, you have no idea how much pleasure I get when I have a call with a buyer or a seller, it doesn't matter. And I say, hey, I'm Daria from company Bridal, have you heard of us? yes, I did.
Mm.
You know, this, yes, I did. And I was like, it makes me feel so good within me. And I'm like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Of course you did, you know. And like, if I would be making those calls, like in the beginning of 2025, the calls were like more of every third, fourth person would probably maybe say, yeah, I've heard of us. And now every second person says, yes, I know you guys.
I think it is also like, that's also the reason why we pushing our advertising and putting ourselves out there, because a lot of people still don't know what we do. A lot of people don't know how we work.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a reason why people don't necessarily always reach out. Like maybe they're seeing us on socials and they're like, oh, cool. But they don't tell us they're looking for a horse always, because maybe they don't realize, they think, oh, it's just a platform with a lot of horses on the internet. That's not what we are. We're not just an advertising platform. We have, first off, hundreds and hundreds of horses available in our network. I would say that 85 to 95% of them are privately listed. You cannot see them. In 2026, we're flipping our model on its head, meaning that we're only going to have public horses that we have exclusivity on, tried by our team, managed by our team, marketed by our team.
Yeah.
And all the rest is like, hey, if you want to see more of it, you have to have a discovery call, you have to know what you're looking for. So the model itself is changing, but loving what we were talking about a minute ago about going from A to Z, like think about it. If Bridal is a group, we have Bridal auction with partnerships with all sorts of different auctions. We organize our own auctions, whatever. Yeah. We have the matchmaking platform like we have now, which is growing and growing.
Of course.
We can book a trial on the platform instead of calling. Like trial booking should be simple. Booking the vet, booking like all the different aspects of the process. Then we have bridal law. Come to us for the contracts of yourselves, the consulting. You have an issue with a horse, like all the different. It's basically the way of thinking. It's like think about every single thing that happens pre-sale, during sale, and post-sale. We want to be there for it. Even training, grooms, owning a show, like you know, doing sales at the show. Like there's so much.
There's another thing which is really important to pinch, I think, in this podcast is, we say we charge 12% commission, but in the end, only 10% lands on the bridal side, and 2% goes to the lawyer, to bridal's lawyer, to make the whole deal secure from all the sides. I think you could pinch or explain a bit more in this front.
Yeah. So the idea is, and we'll probably kind of navigate a change in that model quite soon, but we charge 12%. Which is flexible. If we go sell a horse for $500,000, I'm obviously not going to charge 2% that I pay my lawyer to do the contract. Like we kind of set a cap to it. But the idea and originally why it started is originally we couldn't afford these big, expensive American lawyers. We wanted top lawyers. And I remember it was Peter Charles back then who recommended me to reach out to Morgan Sports Law, which is a super nice group of lawyers that did a really fantastic job with bridal for the last few years. They helped us on so many different contracts, and it's like we couldn't afford to pay them a certain fee, so we had a 12% agreement where 2% were legal fees. That model stuck. Now we're not necessarily only exclusively working with them. We've worked with them just like we're working with Mr. Philippe Levy also. He's a fantastic lawyer. I love the guy, and he hates me probably on so many different reasons because I text him on a Tuesday at 11:59. I'm like, hey, can I have this contract ready by tomorrow? Like, okay, we'll try our best. But at the end of the day, we kept that model with him, which I thought was really, really good. And obviously he's very happy because he's making good money with us and we're not complex to work with. And I think that having him on our side makes me feel more safe. It makes me feel more in charge of knowing what I'm doing. But at the same time, he's the type of person that if I give him a call and I'm like, hey, can you check this for me? He's gonna be like, yeah, absolutely. Like he's always made me feel like I was a priority and that bridal was really, really important to him. So 2% we pay him or a legal partner, 10% left, but then there's a whole commission structure. For example, Daria may find the right horse and I bring in the client and she goes to the trial or doesn't go to the trial, or there's maybe 2 different salespeople involved on top of bridal in the deal that work under our umbrella. There's a commission split between 1 to 5% that goes to the sales team. Bridal never takes less than 5% commission. But then in the end, it's like, okay, all the money enters to Bridal as revenue and then we pay our sales members. But that's how it works. So one person will bring in a horse, could have 2.5% commission for them, Or Dara, for example, in some cases, she sold a very good horse to Saudi. She got half of the commission, like half of the 10%, because she did everything herself and no one else was to be paid either for a client introduction or a horse introduction. So
sometimes you could also get less. Sometimes you could get
for sure.
0.5 or 1%.
Do you?
Me not, because I'm always involved. But there's like when you
nothing.
Yeah, when you just pinched, there is a horse, or when you just pinch, there is a client, and you give a phone number, and we do the whole discovery call. Of course, you will not be getting much, because we do the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I think this most important part was to pinch this 2% that are going to legal fees, because it's like a lot of clients think right now that we are overcharging like the basics, but we are not. In the end, we are taking our 10% like anybody on the market, and the 2% are going just to secure the whole deal somehow legally, you know?
I like when clients tell me, why do I need a contract? I'm like, yeah. Like they're like, I had a client sometimes come to me and tell me, I have my own lawyer. I'm like, yeah, but if a buyer does his own contract, or if the seller does his own contract, it's automatically biased in their favor, right? We try to create documentation that represents both parties at once. It's what you were talking about earlier, when we don't pick a side. But anyways, moving away from that conversation, because I think
it was way too long.
Really, really deep. Was there anything that made you skeptical at the beginning?
About bridal or that's a good question, actually. I think I was really not trusting you in the beginning, and you were not trusting me. Like, we were really questioning the transparency in the whole thing, because I lived in Germany for over 10 years and I've never seen so much transparency in my life. Like, you know, I had a call with Joseph, like the very first call, and he was like, yeah, this and that, the commission structure, everything is honest, everything is transparent. I was like, what? What?
She had the audacity to tell him, almost like, you're not good enough, I want to speak with the CEO.
I said exactly this. I didn't say that he's not good enough, but I said, I'm not moving any forward without speaking with CEO of the company.
So one random day, I get a call from her. I'm like, who's this girl? Like, how dare you? How dare you? And you know, when you meet Daria, she's this super nice, strong woman. And when she starts talking to you on the phone, it's like, okay, I'll stay quiet. I won't say much. No, I think it was cool though, because it really set the tone for how serious you were about the work.
Yeah.
And I think that's also, you know, you and I are so similar on so many different ways. Like, all her positives I recognize myself in. All the reasons why we want to strangle each other are reasons that we both do. And we're so ambitious and so driven. And
so stubborn, and both of us. I'm so stubborn. It's like, okay, that's the reason why I'm so successful. I don't like to say this about myself.
You're successful. We're successful together. Like.
Yeah, as a team. But this is the things, in the beginning of the podcast, I said sometimes we want to kill each other. And this is one of the reasons why. Because we are both really stubborn, and sometimes we see things the same way, but because we are stubborn, we want to like fight against each other, you know. But
I have something to admit. I will admit something on this podcast. Yesterday, Daria sits with me, and we have obviously our scouting operations and whatever, and we look at a lot of different horses. And there was a horse from a seller that I thought I had contacted, right? Without giving a name. She sits down with me, and I'm like, damn, like she fucking contacted him before I did. Pisses me off. I know the guy since many years. We're not friends, but I know exactly who he is. When we organized the auction, he was in a similar stable. So anyways, I'm like, I'll reach out to him. I have the horse list that I want to ask him about for a potential customer or whatever. She sits down next to me and she's like, oh, I texted him. And my answer, which wasn't even true, I said, I've already messaged him.
Yeah.
And it's like I checked my WhatsApp 2 minutes later because I thought I had messaged him. And I'm like, oh no, I haven't messaged him. He was not even on the scouting list. He was in a note I made like maybe on my laptop.
One day, right. And also
from a few days before. But
it was actually also a different horse. I liked another horse of his, and I wanted to reach out about that horse. And you had another horse in your head as an idea. So basically, yes, it was the same guy, but it was like, this is what I mean. Like, we want to succeed. Yeah. We want to like get the horses, get the things done. And sometimes when we just want it so much that we go against each other with it,
with
you know?
little things. No, but I think it's competitiveness, but also like we drive each other to do better. Like me, if I see that she's on the phone with 10 clients a day, I want to be on the phone with 11 clients a day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a little bit of competitiveness.
I'm just like you. It's not even normal anymore.
Right now, I'm creating a leaderboard.
Right? No, that would be the end.
I'm creating a leaderboard of like agents, and it's a whole new kind of tool that I'm creating internally for the bridal agent community. Because right now it's a few people, but then as we grow, we want people to be able to access almost their own social network with everything that happens inside bridal, so they can participate in deals, see who's on top of what, see company updates. I created a mock-up, meaning a fake version of it, just to see how it looks. And then the AI that I'm using to make this put Daria third on the list.
Like how many people I reached out to, or how many trials are scheduled, under my name. And when I'm not the first one on that list...
She was pissed at the AI for putting her third.
Okay, that's also something that makes us so strong as a team, right? So basically it's something what makes us as a team really strong, and I love actually because we always find a way to kind of understand each other. Even yesterday we laughed about it 30 seconds later, but it's always like the first reaction, like, no, I got the lead, I wanted to reach out. But in the end, this is something what made our company grow so much in 2025. Like we ended up the year really strong with so many sales in the matter. Like every week we closed the deal, and not a small deal. Yeah. Like there were weeks where we closed 2-3 horses in a week, which was like impressive. So I really think that whatever the structure we have, whatever the character and the ambitions that we are having, you and me together and the whole team, is exactly something what makes us what we are.
Yeah, 100%. And what I like about the company is that we're very inclusive.
Yeah.
Meaning, Daria and I are a little bit of this ADHD, anxious, ambitious, I gotta prove a point to the world type. But there's people that just want to join bridal because they know they'll be at the show, they know they have friends that have horses, they want to genuinely be part of something bigger and better. Like someone may be an introvert, someone may be a lot more extroverted. Yeah. But what I love is that it works. Like Dovile and Joseph, for example, are very similar.
They're our piece.
Just like
I tell you, they are our piece.
Yeah, just like you and I are very similar. We have another absolute crack on the team, which is Daniela in Ireland. Sharp. She's sharp, she's strong, she's good, she's got kids. I love her. She breeds horses. Like, I don't even know how she has enough time in the day to do everything. We have Marcello, who worked for Simon de Lestre for 2 years, who went to several European championships. He's also working, but less active than, for example, Daria and I, but he's still providing value, and it's still someone that's going to close several deals a year. But everyone is different. Everyone has a different personality. We have Alex Fleming in the UK that's, pushing strong. We had a trial with him for 350,000 euros. Yes, the horse didn't end up conclusive because the vetting didn't work out. But what I'm saying is he's on every single weekly team call, providing value. Like, everyone's different on the team. And we want people that are strong, but they don't need to feel like they need to enter a certain box.
And they don't need to be me or you to actually be successful. Look at Dovile and Joseph. Like, whenever I feel like my fire is like burning, like I had too much gas in it, I just talk to Dovile for a few minutes and I feel peace again, I feel like my brain is again in order type of thing, like I do all those sheets with the prices and the maps and this and that, and I feel like the ADHD is kicking in, and I just give a call to Dovile and say, did I do everything? Did I finish everything? And then she says, yeah, everything is fine, everything is managed. And I'm like, okay.
Let's put something in perspective. Daria is the type of person that she's like we're so similar, so that's why I allow myself to comment. She'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday like crazy, work super hard, still manage her own stable, ride horses, do all sorts of things. And then on Friday at 6 o'clock, she'll have a mental breakdown because her brain can't brain anymore. So I will step in, and I've done this like 2 times already, remotely buy her sushis and get her some beauty products.
She got me flowers.
I got her flowers.
She got me flowers.
And then you're like, okay, she's out for the night, she needs to relax, sleep, and at 7:30 you get notifications because Daria's back in action. She had her baddie self-care moment, and now she's listing horses and taking calls from clients. So I think a lot of the things that we do is also trying to balance our brain, because it's very hard to do what we do. Can you explain a little bit? I think the mental overload that comes with, because we've had people also at Bridal like that couldn't take it.
I know. We had a lot of people like that which actually apparently left the company.
Not even left, they just realized that, hey,
it's
like,
a lot. It's a
too
lot.
much.
You have to be really good at multitasking in your head. Like, I'm the person, as Marie said, I work like 4 or 5 days in a row, you know, like 13, 14 hours a day. I sleep like 3-4 hours. I have my own stable as well to manage. Of course, I have a team in my stable as well, Axel Mirko. I am so grateful to have him on my side. He helped me so much throughout those years. Like, I really appreciate this human being. But the really important thing is to multitask, you know, also not just physically, but in your brain, being able to like have a lot on your plate. And when you ask yourself, I want to be successful, then don't be afraid to have so much on your plate in the end.
Yeah, for sure.
And not a lot of people are being able to actually manage those things on the plate, you know. So of course the sales and generally the business that we do can be really overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of things are not depending on us, like bad checks, trials, clients getting sick, canceling the trials, not being able to fly, like so many things.
Visa.
Yeah.
Or even like, I've had the case, like one time I had a trial that was being planned in the UK for 5-star Grand Prix horse. 2 days before the client flies in, they put the horse in the paddock. The horse injured, out, breathing.
Exactly, of course, and it kind of influences your mental health at this point. For because sure. You're expecting something. You're not looking to earn your commission, no, but it's some hopes and expectations for your client as well. And you probably worked really hard on those deals, like listing those horses, finding, scouting, also working on the client, finding the horse that he likes, and then something like this happens, and of course it kind of breaks you in. So I'm the person who is like multitasking, working a lot, but as Marie said, I just need like once a week, some evening or like an hour for myself. Like the time when she ordered me a sushi, I had 20 minutes break and I was recharged. I just kept on working after, but I felt myself so much better because like all I did is I put some Netflix on my laptop. I didn't even stood up from the table where I was working, you know, like I just had a sushi in front of me. I had a 15-20 minutes break and then I was recharged to like get in the game again. Mm-hmm. But I'm not the person who would be okay with 9-to-5 job, you know. It's I would kill myself. Even if I would be doing the same what I do right now from 9 to 5, I would kill myself. I cannot. Like sometimes there's days where I start at 5 o'clock in the morning because like I open the WhatsApp in the evening. Let's say I come back from the stables, I see 200 messages. And I'm like, no. Impossible tonight. Like I do some replies, of course, to like majority of priority clients. Yes, but there's still like 150 messages left, for example. And I just set the alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning because I know that the clients simply will not reply that early. Yeah. So I kind of take my few hours in the morning. I reply to those 150 messages. And then I kind of can start the day differently, you know. But if I would start at 9, I would be overwhelmed again, you know. But it's just about some way of balancing it in your own way that works for you to be successful, you know.
One thing I like about that is that some people are really not cut out for it, but it's also, you have to genuinely be passionate with sales and with horses. Like I think a big thing with the business that we do and the work that we do is that I think you have to be genuinely very hardworking. Yeah. Because some people think that because you list 2 horses on the platform or because you outreach 2 people, like even when you have a super serious customer, you may show them 15 horses. They don't like anything. Yeah. You may have to send them follow-ups for 6 months' time to get a trial booked, and then they sit on the horse and like, I don't like this horse. Yeah. Or you could do like that girl in France. She tried 2, she bought 1. And I think that like I had
that was the easiest deal we ever did. No, but okay, it was a match. It was a great deal, and she's super happy with the horse in the end because the horse, as I said earlier, was every penny of it. But in general, some deals we're working for years on, for years.
Well, what she means is not that the client says in 2021 I'm looking for a horse and buys in 2025, is that there's customers that we have been actively in touch with since, for example, the last 2 years. They've bought horses in between, just not necessarily with us, but they're actively looking, like an import stable in the US, or like and sometimes that's what it takes. And like I had a case where I followed up every single week on a customer for about 2 years time, and I ended up closing a deal that was mid 6 figures, which was a very, very nice operation. And that takes time. It takes the time to build trust with customers. It takes time to sometimes it takes time that you sell a horse to one of their friends for them to trust you, and that open up big doors. Like we have a client right now that went to try horses in Europe, didn't necessarily buy the horse this time with us. She wants to come back, but she introduced us to her friend, and her friend is already booking trial with us. And I think that aspect is really, really, really important. I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions. So we're going to get into like some topic about what you've learned the hard way in sales, and I want you to give me some quick fire answers. So let's get into the real stuff. Sales lesson that only come from doing it on a daily basis. What is the biggest misconception that buyers have?
Put your stubbornness on the side when you want to close the deal.
No, buyers.
Ah, the buyers.
Yeah. What's the biggest misconception that a client will have? I have one.
Say it.
I have a client that's like, yeah, you only find me a horse. It's like, you don't realize how much time it takes to scout. There's a big misconception behind the actual work that
like from the buyer side, seeing bridal.
Yeah. Like I think seeing bridal or seeing intermediaries in general, you don't understand how much time it takes to find you a horse, organize a trial, organize a wedding, negotiate. But even sometimes people underestimate the time that it takes for a rider to produce a horse.
I think the worst case scenario for me is when the buyers are trying to negotiate the commission that is already fixed.
It's not going to be negotiated. Like
it's like it's a fixed commission base, and you agreed to it before we even showed you one horse. You know, so basically it's something what like annoys me a lot when people change their word. You know, like you admitted to something, then stick to it.
And also the other thing is good luck. Like we're not going to give you a discount because the commission is worth proportional value of the horse.
Yeah.
So in the end, if the horse is 10,000 cheaper, for us it's only 10%. So it's only $1,000 difference.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really change anything. If you're willing to go drop 100K on a horse, you're willing to go pay 10,000 euros for a very good service, or you can go buy that horse on your own. Like don't use our service as bridal. Go scout. Go like it takes so much time. We have such a great team. We invest so much money behind the service that we provide. That good freaking luck with that.
And in the end, we have so many options of horses which are
so
off
good.
the market.
So good.
Like off the market, you know, when I would say a lot of horses that I sold myself in 2025 were the horses which were not officially for sale.
Yeah.
Like even the horse which we sold to friends, the horse was not like on the market, you know.
Yeah.
It was more of a right horse for the right person, on the right match, for the right price, you know. It was not like, let's sell this horse, I want to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, you pay for the services, yes, of course, but you also get the horses that you would never find yourself.
Yeah, I would say so too. Or you would find them via the typical WhatsApp network with a 30 to 40 to 50% increase due to the commission value.
But also, like as I said, some of the horses that I sold, they were not for sale. It was just out of the friendship, because people trust me, saying I have a beautiful horse. I don't want to make like hundreds of thousands on this horse, but I want the horse to have a right home, a right client. And we are there for this kind of seller, you know. So this is something what you're not capable of finding, even if you're scouting with the best scouts in Europe, or you're just sourcing,
but it's harder.
Sourcing through the contacts, or you have your dealers or whatever. Some of the deals that we closed in 2025 were just on the friendship trust base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, I agree with that. What would be the biggest mistake that sellers make?
They don't take the offer. Type of thing.
100%.
They overthink, they expect too much, and the funniest part, they're normally never a second or a third offer.
100%.
When there is a horse and when there is a client and they give you an offer, take it.
I have this experience with a horse. 145 mare was sold to the US, I would say 2 years ago. it's hilarious. Like, it's really silly. It was like, think January 2022. Okay, I'm saying this, I don't remember what year it was. The horse was like 200,000. Okay, the client was willing to pay 200k, but they made an offer that was lower. Seller rejects the offer. The horse gets injured, is out of the sport for 8 months, goes back into the ring, never the same as it was before.
Of course.
They bought the horse 1 year later, just under half of the price, so about 75k.
That's
so
what
my
I
point
say.
is, it happens all the time where people reject an offer, or for example, they come here to Sunshine Tour.
Yeah.
They say, like, I know a guy, right? He bought an eventing horse that ended up being a superstar, super nice horse. He refused 500,000 euros offer in Sunshine Tour. It's like, this is 6 times what you paid for this horse 2 months before.
Of course.
Take the money.
There's different scenarios, that's for sure. Like, there could be also ridiculous offers. You know, like, I also have a beautiful horse in my stable, Tessino. We know him. He is stunning stallion. He is 7 years old. He is super vetchic and all. And I already got some offers on the horse, yes. But the offers were ridiculous. You know, like, I know the worth of the horse and I'm not selling for half the price.
Yeah.
But from my own experience, if there is an offer which is not like more than 30-40% less than the price of the horse, than the asking price you placed in the first place, take it.
Because in the end, as a seller, assuming, for example, your horse is 100,000 and someone offers you 80k, you say no because you're so stubborn about having 100, right? 1, the horse could get injured, but 2, every single month, you have to feed this horse.
Exactly.
Cost you money, cost you vetting money, cost you farrier money. You take it to the show. National shows, not so bad, but you go take it to Sunshine Tour or Oliva or Villamora for 1 season. That's a lot of money. So in the end, you'll probably would have made more money by taking the 80,000 euro offer than you would have if you got a
Exactly. So I would say any offer which is not getting on the border of 30% less than your asking price, I would say take it. Otherwise, you will see what happens.
And okay, sometimes of course it's
Yeah,
possible.
of course, yeah. But in my own experience, like 7 or 8 horses out of 10 are not getting the same offer ever again.
No, because
Or something happens that the price goes down of the horse, sometimes even lower than the offer that was made at the time.
For me, it makes me laugh when we have sellers that, like, in January the horse has this price, then in March it's 50k more. We get a client that was happy to pay the price that they wanted in January. They say no to it, and then 3 months later they want less than they wanted in January because they realize they can't sell.
Yeah.
And that breaks a lot of deals. I think a lot of people think that their horse is worth a lot more because they know that their neighbor close to them sold the horse for more money, or they see the value of horses in auctions.
Yeah, has a lot to do with the ego.
Ego. It's like, hey, look at my expensive horse. But I think it's really good. Like, that's a very good point. Like, sell the horse. How do you handle emotional buyers? Like, people that get mad or angry, or like, I have a few clients like this that are very, very, very mad when they don't get things their way, or unpredictable, or you know what I mean? How do we handle that? Like, what would you say?
I wouldn't say that I'm the best at it, but I'm also not the worst.
You'll call me. You'll call me.
I don't reply directly.
Yeah.
When you see that message, that angry call or whatever, first of all, if you know that your client is like really, really angry and they're calling you because of some sort of trouble or whatever, don't pick up directly. Like, give it some time for them to kind of breathe out the first emotions. Like, also when you get this angry message, oh, I'm not happy with this happened, or whatever it is, like this emotional aggression, you can read it, yes, but nobody is pressuring you to reply at the same minute.
Yeah.
So, and you're not giving a minute for yourself, you're giving a minute for the client to
and
breathe
you're
out.
Reply less good if you do it immediately, I think.
Exactly. So whenever you have this like wave of aggression in your direction, just give the client some time to kind of proceed the emotions. You know, sometimes it's better to reply, give it at least an hour or 2. I give always a few hours time, because when you will see the difference when you reply directly or when you reply a few hours later. They kind of, most of the time they reread the message that they sent and they're like, oh, that was a bit too much, you know?
Or maybe not, but depends.
Yeah, but it depends. But sometimes they kind of take the time to reflect on how they felt few hours ago. And the more time you give, I don't say reply 3 days later. No, of course, the reply within 24 hours, that's for sure. But give as much possible, as much time as possible to let your client proceed the emotion before trying to find a solution.
One thing I really like that we spoke about 1 week ago is we have some clients that sometimes can be particularly difficult.
Yeah.
Not that they're not good people, they're great people, but obviously not everyone is the same when you go out there and spend 50, 100, 150, 200k. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
And it's oftentimes, we always say that it's harder to sell a horse for 10k than it is to sell a horse for 200,000. Just like, you know, it depends. Each client is different. We had some clients that I kind of told a few years ago to, you know, rethink how they wanted to entertain the relationship that we had, because sometimes I disagree with them or sometimes they can be very difficult. I had a customer in particular that was very difficult, made me sick mentally, was so hard to manage. But then you learn over time how to handle these type of people.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different personality, but you brought up something that Axel, your business partner, said regarding the water, I think, regarding keeping clients. You know what I mean? Like making sure that that's something that...
Yeah, what Axel said to me one time is actually a really good thing. Don't kill a cow which gives you the milk.
Yeah, not the water.
You know, that phrase kind of kicked me. And as I said, Axel is a beautiful human being, and he is some sort of a mentor for me, because he kind of helped me to grow my company and find my way through the last few years. And he was on my side through everything, also like personal life as well. So this is the phrase he said, and it kind of hit me, you know, like take care of the cow which gives you the milk, don't kill it.
And Joseph had many times said that if we were not present in some deals, there would be no way that a seller would have sold a horse. Because I think that a seller's job, unless you're a professional dealer, you don't know how to manage most customers.
Yeah.
Most people are riders and they're not sellers. They will sell a horse, but then they don't have the experience on how to manage the psychology behind handling difficult clients. And several times we've closed a deal and Joe was like, yeah, if you were not in the middle to manage the conversation, there would be no way on earth that the seller would not have lost the patience and told the client to F off and leave them alone. I think that happens a lot. We've seen, like, we had a crazy case. We sold a horse to Kazakhstan. That was absolutely insane.
The horse was in Finland, and we sold the horse to Kazakhstan. It had like a huge trip. It took 2 weeks for the horse to get to Kazakhstan, since they started to travel, like almost 3 weeks, I think. And it's like mad.
No, and it was also very difficult because there was a disagreement in regards to the VAT, in regards to transport.
Also the buyer, the seller, it was like hard to understand both sides, really, because we had like our way of seeing it, and the seller didn't have the trust of trusting us and maybe the whole deal. But in the end, we closed it.
It worked out, but I think that if we were not in the middle, there would be no way.
No, there would be no deal. Even the buyer told me that she would simply block him. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. And that has happened many times, where, you know, sometimes it's about culture too. Like people from one country will have a different buying behavior than someone from another country.
Of course.
And I think that we start to have the experience, and we also have more and more people from different markets. Like
I just wanted to say, what is also really exciting, we opened the new markets. Like we sold our first horse to Saudi. We have quite a few clients from Turkey right now, which is really exciting. And I have to say that, like, okay, I bond with them. I love this market somehow, because I understand how they want to be treated. Because I am coming from the same type of mentality, you know? If I would be the client, I would want this exact same treatment, you know? So it's kind of easy for me to understand what they're looking for and what they want, and how they want to be approached. So that's really exciting to kind of open the new markets for bridal, because it's a fully new story for us.
And I also think that, like, if you look at psychology and buying habits, right? A Chinese customer versus a South American customer is going to be completely different.
It's different type of
completely
service.
Different.
And for that, you also need different sales agents.
Exactly. Like you, for example, you're very powerful with specific types of customers. If I have to look at myself, I found myself very strong with Spanish-speaking countries.
Yeah, absolutely. You close them.
I close them because I want to be around that type of people.
Yeah.
Where there's markets
Mentality.
where I connect less good, not because I don't enjoy them, but because culturally we're different. I also feel like the beauty about bridal is also how many languages are spoken inside the team.
That's mad. But it's also like, but what I say is not just the language, it's the mentality that you have, you know, how you were raised.
I couldn't do business with Germany before you.
That's true. That's true. But okay, I wouldn't call Germans the easiest ones, you know. I love the country. I also lived there 10 years, but honestly, if I had a chance to like choose the country with which I would work for the rest of my life, it would be Saudi. Like I love those people. Like they understand me, I understand them, and we bond. As simple as that. And Germans, like, okay, I have many good friends and sellers in Germany, but with the buyers from Germany, I can't, like, I try my best, and I did close a few deals already, but God, they're complicated. That's for sure.
So, okay, now let's zoom out a little bit, because the market today is not the market that you entered in 2025.
No.
So how do you feel the market has changed in the last year or two? And where do you think it's heading in 2026?
I think that the horses, like, let's talk about specific horses first of all. If we talk about the horses jumping 1.40 m, the market really went down on the price points. You know, like 100%. You can find.
We have so many good ones.
We have so many good horses which have good 1.40 m results, which are like under 100K, and it's mad. But on the other front, if we talk about the horses which are jumping consistently 1.50 m, the prices are mad. Like, even to get the price point, some of the horses, like, it's hard to get the price points of the horses and try.
They're not for sale.
They're not for sale because, like, there's, in the end, you think, yeah, I watched the Longinus rankings or this or that, and there's a few 1.50 m horses in this. But in the end, there's not so many. There's not so many high quality 1.55 m performance horses, you know, like there's a few, yes, but in the end they're not for sale. So when we get a customer for 1.50 m horse request, it's one of the hardest jobs to find.
Very, very, very true. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Like right now we have several customers that are all looking for the same thing. They think they have a big budget, like they're like, hey, we have 300, 400, 500K. They can't find what they want because those horses now are worth 1 million, 1.5 million.
Or even not for sale, you know, like we already got a few horses that our clients like, but the sellers simply don't give us any price points because the horses are not for sale, because it's hard. Like, where this business in the market is going is really a tricky question, you know, because it's so hard to actually produce the horse from A to Z right now. Like, to get a youngster, to invest in it, to do the wettings, to do the whole thing, to make the horse actually 1.50 m horse, an actual, like, performance horse. It's so much work, and there's, like, so many tricky parts of it which you cannot, like, know in prior, you know? So I don't really think I can answer your question about where the market is heading. Like, for sure, it is hard for the sellers right now, which are having like basic normal horses, you know, or just normal youngsters or simple 1.40 m horses, because on that there is for sure some customers, but the budgets are not that big. But if we talk about 1.50 m horses, this is something the market should focus on because there's not many options.
I think if I had to answer the question where the market is going, based a little bit on my research and experience, I guess, intuition also is a big one. I think that the price of 160 horses is only going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because they're harder and harder to find, and we have more access to them than ever before. Like with data, with Clip My Horse, with YouTube, with shows, like there's hundreds of scarce of these shows, and it's still harder and harder to find them. I think that the market is going to stabilize itself or go down for very specific reasons. If we look at politics, what is happening with South America and the US right now, what's happening with Iran, what's happening with China, what's happening with the USA, like there's so much political instability.
Also Ukraine and Russia.
Like Palestine and Israel, like there's so much political instability. it's almost like plates that are balancing each other.
Mm.
It's almost like there's an elephant in a Chinese store, of course.
That's for
It's
sure.
moving slowly but surely. The elephant is orange, and it's a little bit tricky to see what's going to happen. And I think that when there is political instability, it really impacts the economy
Yeah.
strongly. There's two things that can happen. The USA today is one of the strongest economy. It's jumped like kind of playing against China, but it's one of the biggest economies in the world.
Yeah.
It's either going to make the markets go down drastically depending on the political choices and what happens and what the impacts, or if it's done strategically in a way that makes the world a safer place and whatever, and if the result of all that's happening politically is semi-positive, like for the US, I'm saying if they win what they're trying to do, now that's going to make the markets go up, because people are going to feel safe and they're going to feel like they can put their money in real estate, they can put their money in expensive cars, in horses. If you analyze the market, it's directly influenced by geopolitical situations, and it's directly also impacted by what's happening in the real estate market. So I follow real estate very closely, and I think from my perspective, I think the expensive luxury assets, being 160 horses, are only going to go up in value. The mid-market is probably going to go down, and then where people are going to put their money is going to be in the dream. 6-7-year-olds, people can't afford 8-year-olds anymore. So they're going to start buying younger and younger, and I think this year we're going to see a lot of transactions of 5 and 6-year-olds, like even horses like Destino. He's 7.
Yeah.
He's not like the most expensive horse in the world, but the price that we're looking at for this horse, if you wanted to sell him, or someone asks you about this horse, because he's not officially for sale, but you would have to be offered a substantial amount of money to sell this horse.
Yeah, of
now
course.
Think about it. That's the price of a house.
That's the same. And about the political situation kind of influences the market, that's for sure. But because look, 2025, beginning of the year, we couldn't sell a horse to the States. Why? Because of the
It was difficult.
It was difficult. Like we sold from time to time. We started selling again to the States starting August, September, but the May, June, those months were really hard.
You know what our biggest markets were in terms of deal value, like how much money people were spending in expensive horses?
What?
It was India.
Exactly.
India. And India is a market where people either buy the cheaper ones, or they have just a ridiculous amount of money, and you meet the person, like they never will have that kind of money to buy a horse. When they came to me, I was almost like skeptical, but then it's like you see the clients we have from India, from Asia, from China, and now of course South America, like the US, everywhere. But my point is, emerging markets is where we should focus. Saudi, like you mentioned, Turkey is a nice one, Eastern Europe is going up, South America, Asia. Like I think that the US is not going to be the most important hub in the world anymore. I think now Saudi, Qatar, UAE is really
India,
where people are putting.
Those are the leading markets
future,
right now.
Exactly. Ones,
and they are ready to invest. They want to invest and they want to get better. So I think not just the politician part kind of influences the market, but also in which countries people are ready to invest and want to invest in something. Like the USA market and the equestrian sport in there is already really far. So the countries which are really interested in kind of getting better at it are the markets where we would earn the best.
Yeah, for sure. I think the market is interesting, and it's really cool to see. Do you think that nowadays buyers are more complicated because they're more informed, or they are more anxious?
I think it's because there's more sources to get the horses than ever before. Like in like, let's say 30 years ago, you would call a friend, say I'm looking for that horse. He would call some friend, and there would be 5 options for you, and you choose. But that's the thing, like when you give a client 30 options, it's hard to choose. When you give them 2, they say this or this.
I had a dealer from Wellington tell me a story a few years ago. I think that's very cool. He was saying how back in the day, people would record videos of the horses and send the CDs by the post to America for people to make a decision on the type of horses they liked. Think about it. You would send 5 CDs, 2 CDs, 1 CD. Now you send 1 WhatsApp video. You can send a trial rider remotely. pull the blood 7 days later, the horse is on the transport.
Yeah, you check the Clip My Horse results, you check the horse telex, the Hippomundo, everything, and it's done, you know, it's a done deal. But I think something what like makes it hard for the sellers with the buyers to kind of close the deal is the sources, you know, like there's too many at the moment. And that's why I think Bridal is going fully to the front, because we provide the value which nobody else in the market can provide.
Yeah.
We don't just show the horse or show the resources, we like provide the best out of the best what you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think making it a one-stop shop that centralizes more option, more value, best prices, like it's just a compound effect of everything all at once. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question regarding the market, and then we're going to be closing this conversation. What type of horses do you think will be the most valuable going forward in terms of accessibility, but also from a second perspective, which horses will be the most expensive?
1.50 m horses. Not 1.45 m, not 1.60 m, 1.50 m.
Like easy 150 horses.
Commercial, easy, girly horses. They don't need to jump 1.60 m in Prague finals, you know? They just have to be consistent with their results, no eliminations, no steps, etc. But 1.50 m. Those 5 centimeters, you think it's nothing, but it is everything, because I have so many horses in my mind which I can say it's a super 1.45 m horse. Like, it's amazing, it will be perfect for the girl. But when the client requests 1.50 m horse, I have 5 options, you know?
That are very good, yeah.
That are good enough, like from the quality, from the consistency of the results, from the vet check, from the type, from the how commercial the horse is, how pretty it is, how easy, how the variability is, you know, like this is the hardest search of mine, to find the 1.50 m horse.
Yeah, absolutely. I genuinely appreciate that. I think that's very strong. Obviously, I genuinely believe that the next decade belong to people that understand both the sport, business, and storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think that Bridal is right at the middle of that. For the people that don't know me, I'm 1000% obsessed with Ryan Serhant. I'm obsessed with him because the way he's changing the real estate market and the way he's built the real estate firm he has is based on storytelling, social media, you know, accessibility, technology, AI. Like, he's created an ecosystem that I stalk on a daily basis, and that truly impacts the way and the vision I have for Bridal. Like, I really want Bridal to be very like it's very similar to what he does on a much smaller scale. He's traded billions, we've traded millions. But we really go from a media standpoint and a storytelling perspective. Look at you, like, we invest in your personal brand. We share vlogs, all this is stories. We want to now, with the exclusive horses we're going to be planning shoots and stories behind those horses. So I think it's really important to think about it from that perspective. And I'm just really excited to see kind of where the next wave of the market goes. My big dream is to have a Netflix show.
I really want to be in it, you know, I'm all in. The life we have is so exciting. It's so unusual, it's so special, you know. It's something what I have so many friends, I have so many contacts, and I have so many, like,
so much
stories, going on. But, like, in the end, I've never seen a person which has so much in their life, so much going on. Like,
we counted yesterday, we went to 18 countries in 2025.
Yeah, and it's not just like
related.
This is just like the stories behind those countries, you know. Like, even me, I was 1 week there, now I'm here in Spain, then a few weeks I will be in France, you know. It's just like so many things are happening that if I had a chance to even watch myself on Netflix in that show, I would be like following every episode of it, you know, because I'm all in it. I forget where I was 1 month ago, you know, because so many things are happening in my life and they're so exciting, and I'm really grateful for my life because I love it. But I tend to, like, that's why I make so many pictures, you know, because life is running so fast that I kind of miss the moment in between. So sometimes to kind of rewatch what we lived through is really exciting.
It's very cool, yeah. That's a big thing. So I think we're going to close here because that was a very strong conversation. We'll probably have so much value to go deep with. Like, all this is going to be cut in 20 things we can post on social. It's very exciting. Yeah. We'll be likely shooting new episodes next month I hope that you can come back to Spain and we can do something
Maybe.
together again.
Maybe.
Let's
see what happens.
She told me, yeah, so if you sell Kiss Me Sweet and you sell Testino, I can come to Spain.
Yeah, because then I will have a little bit less horses in the stable. It's obvious, like when you have less responsibilities at home, you are more flexible with the
And
travels.
she'll be able to invest more time in bridal and close more deals.
So,
Alright guys, see you soon. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe on all the different podcast channels on YouTube as well as on our social media. See you soon, and if you want to join the team and kick ass with us, get in touch. Bye bye.
thank you.